Hey everybody, welcome to the Crohn's Fitness Food Podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Gish, Crohn's Warrior and IgA Nephropathy Warrior, and I'm dedicated to sharing the stories of those with IBD. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now let's get to it. Well, hi everyone. My guest today is Katie Truscott-Howell, who's been battling Crohn's disease and celiac disease since she was 18. Her journey with IBD and celiac disease, combined with her passion and commitment to fitness and a healthy lifestyle, led her to start Katie's Life Kitchen, UK's only meal kit provider suitable for people who suffer with IBD, celiac disease, IBS, or gluten and dairy intolerances. She's here to share her story and how she balances life with Crohn's. Thank you so much for joining me today, Katie, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, let's go ahead. Let's jump right in. And can you start us off by sharing your Crohn's story, Crohn's and celiac, really, and talk to us about your first symptoms and how you got your diagnosis.
So my diagnosis for celiac disease was before Crohn's, actually. So I was 18. I got really sick completely out of the blue. I was basically bedbound for about 3 months. So at that particular time, I was working in the city. I was working in London, and I had to have quite a long time off work. The hospital couldn't tell what was wrong with me. They actually thought I had liver and kidney failure. They completely disregarded the fact that I could have allergies or intolerances or anything like that. So it was actually my mum who said to them after 3 months, "Can you please test my daughter for any allergies?" Which they did, and yeah, it turned out that I had celiac disease. So eliminated wheat out of my diet. But ultimately, back then, the supermarkets didn't really have anything. Nothing was really, celiac disease wasn't well known at all. Like gluten free wasn't well known. Restaurants had no idea what it was. So it was really difficult to get by and really kind of work out what I can and can't eat. So it was real trial and error, which was difficult in itself. And I was ill like most of the time. I mean, now it's amazing. Like, you know,
There's an alternative for everything that is now gluten-free. It's like it's all over the shelves, it's everywhere. But just like you said, I mean, it hasn't really been that long since gluten-free really became as available as it is now.
yeah, exactly. And I'm very grateful that it is now, to be honest, because yeah, it just means you can enjoy life a bit more. So my Crohn's diagnosis came after that. It took them a couple of years to actually find that out as well, which they could only find it through MRI, because where my Crohn's is, where all my strictures are, it wasn't accessible either end through camera. So they diagnosed that through MRI, and then it was just a case of being on and off of steroids for years, to the point where it was, you're going to have a bag, or we can try you on a biologic. So at that point, I decided to take my nutrition into my own hands and do my degree, become a nutritionist. I was already into bodybuilding. I was a figure competitor, so I already like had a baseline knowledge and understanding from nutrition, from learning off my coach for years. So doubled that up with my degree, and then launched Katie's Life Kitchen, because there just wasn't a company that could cater for me. Whatever I ordered online had some form of trigger food in it. And yeah, I couldn't find anything that was easy, and it saved me time, and it was completely bespoke, completely tailored. So yeah, I thought, I did quite a bit of field testing. Like, I reached out to quite a few people in the IBD community and said, hey, would you be interested if I did launch a business like this? And everyone was like, yes. And including a lot of parents for their children that have IBD, they were like, yes. So yeah, it really kind of, set the fire alight, and off I went.
We're definitely going to circle back to your business because I fell in love with it and I was like, why is it not here in the US?
Canada as well. They're like, why are you not here?
So we're definitely going to circle back to that. When you first started getting your diagnosis, even with celiac disease, did any of your physicians or doctors or anyone in the healthcare arena, did anyone give you advice on what to eat, especially as you were navigating the celiac and Crohn's?
No, no, it was shocking. Um, I had a nutritionist appointment, but that literally never even transpired. It was like a 6-month waiting list, which then got pushed back to a year, and it was just shocking. But all of my friends who have Crohn's or colitis are in the same boat. Like, no one tells them or helps them on the nutritional side. And even my gastroenterologist says, like, they're so understaffed with nutritionists, it's insane. So it's like more and more people are getting diagnosed with IBD and celiac disease, and then there's less and less nutritionists. So, um, yeah.
What about, do you think, because you had celiac for a long time, and I know I've heard a lot of people, it's hard to get a Crohn's IBD diagnosis. Do you think a lot of your physicians attributed your IBD symptoms to celiac? Do you feel like that kind of delayed your actual diagnosis there?
No, I don't think so. My gastro was incredible. I had quite a few different gastro consultants because I was getting passed around from hospital to hospital because none of them could find out what was wrong with me. But I landed with the gastroenterologist that I'm with now, and um, as soon as I was underneath his wing, he honestly booked me into about, I want to say about 30, 35 different tests that ran for about 5 months. Like, I had to do all these tests, and he was not giving up. He was like, "We are going to find out what is going on with you," because a lot of people, it gets to a point where you're just so depressed and you can't do anything right. You have no idea what you're doing, what's going to help. You're in this really awkward position of being totally exhausted, in pain, and still having to function like a normal person every day. Um, he's like a godsend, and even now, like, I've got his, he gives me his direct email address. So if I need to contact him, if I'm in a flare up or whatever, he comes back to me that day. Like, honestly, incredible. So I don't think that happened, but whenever I have my MRIs, which I have every couple of months, they'll show me the scans, and then they'll say, "Oh, look, here's all your celiac disease," and they'll show me. So no, I don't think it prolonged it. I just think it's a really tough disease to diagnose.
It
Yeah.
is. And I'm really glad to hear you say that you had a great gastroenterologist, because it seems that that's less common now than it should be. So that makes me happy to hear that you have someone really fighting to figure out what's wrong and really supporting you, because
Oh yeah.
that is awesome.
Yeah. They are out there. Yeah.
Yeah. They are out there. They're sometimes hard to find, but
Yes, they
but
are.
they're
I'm
there.
very grateful. Yeah, I'm very blessed.
So you did steroids for quite a bit. It's kind of mentioned on and off steroids a lot. Did you end up getting onto any other medications throughout your diagnosis and into this journey?
Yeah, I was on, like, the standard meds that people take. To be honest, I didn't feel any different on them, and, a lot of people message me on Instagram saying that they don't, and they actually say, "Look, I'm on this. Did it help you? Because it's not doing anything for me." And I was like, "No." So yeah, I was on steroids for quite a long time until my liver, I got a really bad liver infection, and my liver started to pack up because of all the steroids. So that was when my Crohn's had got to such a severe point. They said, like, my gastro said, "You need to try this biologic," which I did, and I injected it at home called Humira. But I was actually allergic to that, so they had to pull me from that straight away, because that particular biologic suppresses all your immune system, whereas the biologic that I'm on now just targets my gut. So basically, when my body was so um, like, in a really bad state from all of the steroids, it just couldn't cope with, again, being like fully suppressed. So they put me onto this other biologic that I have to go into hospital and have intravenously, but it just targets my gut. So fingers crossed. I've been on that for 4 years now, and yeah, and that alongside my diet, it seems to be remission.
That's
So
perfect. That's the winning combination. Fingers crossed.
I know, I
Tell me
know.
tell me about the drug you're on because I read your profile online and it was like Vendolizumab.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of it. So tell me what it was. Is it a newer drug, or has it been around for a little bit?
I think it's been around for a little bit. Yeah, I've been on it for 4 years. I think it was launched maybe a year before I was put on it. So maybe it's been around for about 5 years now. Um, but it's similar to infliximab, I believe. I know there's quite a few different biologics out there now, and new ones are getting released all the time, which is amazing. Because once one stops working, they then put you onto another one. But I think the Vedo is for people that have like severe Crohn's. So I think you get put on Vedo maybe once a couple of the others have stopped working on you. So it's kind of like a last resort biologic. But I have had it took about 10, 11 months to work on me, but it's been great since. So yeah, fingers crossed. I think it's had quite a lot of success.
Good. What's the name of it?
Vedoli- Vedolizumab.
So it's not just me.
Every time I go in to have it done, I try and say it. My nurses try and teach me, and I'm like, I can't say it.
Just Vedo.
That's it. They're like, just say Vedo, it's
Vedo's
fine.
easier. So talk to me about fitness throughout this whole time. You came from a background of fitness competitions, very much into, I'm sure, weightlifting and the whole deal. So how did celiac and IBD affect your fitness journey? Because I was reading that you even came to Miami for a little bit and you started doing CrossFit. So you've got a very interesting journey. So tell me about where you started, how it kind of changed through IBD and where you're at now.
Yeah, so I've always been a competitive horse rider, so I've always competed on my horses back in the UK. And then I got to about 16 and I started weightlifting. So I've kind of always been really active, like tennis, swimming, all of that. And then yeah, I moved to Miami when I was 19 and got into CrossFit for a couple of years. And the Navy actually launched they used to do like um competitions on the beach, kind of like Tough Mudder but different. So I did them as well. I had a great time. But it was at that point, so I got diagnosed with celiac disease when I was 18. So I'd just been diagnosed with that. And then I came to the States and it wasn't very well known over there. So I was ill like a lot of the time. So it did affect my training and what with the chronic fatigue. But I think where I'm such a competitive person and I'm so resilient, I'm not going to let anything stop me. Like, I don't let my Crohn's control me. I control my Crohn's. So I don't care whether I feel chronically fatigued. I'm still going to be doing it. I'm one of those people. Like, I really don't care. If I'm in bed and I can't get out of bed, but I've got a race in the afternoon, I'll get up and I'll do the race. Like, I'll just suffer the
To
consequences.
heck with IBD.
So yeah, and I mean it's good and bad, I guess. But so yeah, I came back to the UK when I was 21. I got into bodybuilding competitively. I was a figure competitor in bodybuilding, and now I've actually completely done a 180 and I am running ultra marathons for Crohn's and colitis. So I've partnered with Crohn's and Colitis UK, the charity over here. And yeah, I'm an endurance athlete now. So I run ultra marathons and raise money for charity.
Oh, that's awesome. Where have you how long first, tell me how long is an ultra marathon? Because a regular marathon is 26.1 miles, right?
I think it is. I think it's like 28. Yeah, I think it's like 28 miles. So the ultra marathon that I'm doing in May is 100 kilometers. So it's 58 kilometers the first day and then the rest on day two. So it's over 2 days. So yeah, that's going to be fun.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I'm going to
Is
be I'm going to be really interested to see how my Crohn's behaves.
For sure. Will this be your first official ultra marathon?
Official one, yes. So yeah, training has been going for a while now, and it's just so different to bodybuilding. So it's been really nice, but it's just been just so different. So it's a great challenge, and I've loved every minute. So yeah, I'm going to be doing this for a while, I think.
That's awesome. What are some of the tips that you've picked up along the way for kind of navigating the IBD while you're doing such intense physical activity, whether it was either weightlifting or now getting into the ultra marathons?
Well, yeah, so every time my mum comes into hospital with me, she always moans to the nurses about this. She's like, "Oh, I think Katie's doing too much. I'm so worried about her. And, can you just tell her to slow down and to stop and whatever?" But the nurses always say, like, Katie knows her body and she just needs to listen to her body. And that's exactly what I do. So, for example, on the days that I have my infusion, I'm like horrendously fatigued after. Used to last about a week, but it only lasts that day now because I've been having them for so long. So I'll take that day as my day off. And my next day will be my recovery day. So I'll just do something light. So basically, however I'm feeling on that particular day, I just take it day by day, is how far I'll push myself, whether that be strength and conditioning training, or if I'm doing a recovery or a tempo day or a long distance day, whatever. I used to write my like training diary out and stick to it rigidly, but it works so much better when I literally just do it on a day-to-day basis and I don't punish myself for not doing what was on the diary. So because I can just do it another day, right? I don't need to just stick to this crazy routine because that's what I've written down on a piece of paper. So I think ultimately, because people with a chronic illness are so up and down, you don't know how you're going to feel from day to day. Even if you have like a great sleep that night, you might wake up and you might feel like crap. It happens. So and if it does, that's fine. You just need to take that time to think, what can I do alternatively, and just listen to your body and do what works for you. Everyone's different, and yeah, everyone's unique. So
I love that. What do you think you attribute your mindset to? Because you mentioned earlier that you're just the type of person that I'm just going to get up, I'm going to do it, but you've got this positive outlook, this positive mindset that, you know what, Crohn's, to heck with you. I'm going to still live my life. How do you remember that every day and how do you feed that mindset?
So I have like small little routine things that I do every day. So one of them is I write down 3 things that make me happy. I write down 3 things that make me grateful. And I'm just constantly reminding myself that where I am right now in life and what I have achieved, and just being able to wake up in the morning and not be in pain, for example, or eat breakfast and not be in pain, or I'm able to get out and ride my horse or go for a walk in nature or take my dog for a walk or whatever it might be. And I can actually get up and walk, because there's been so many times where I've been in so much pain I can't even walk. I'm so grateful for those moments in my life. Like, even though it's just like a normal thing for a normal person to do, but I understand that, I haven't been able to do the little things that are everyday things before. So I think I just practice being grateful every single day. And yeah, that's basically what keeps me so positive, I think, about the whole thing.
Yeah, I think gratitude and journaling is a huge benefit for especially anyone with chronic illness, but really anyone in general. But it's something I've started to gratitude especially is once you put your mindset to it and you start looking at the world in a different way to really look around your environment, look at the people that you're with and appreciate the little things, it really does wonders for a mindset.
Oh, exactly. The little things are the big things. So just taking every day step by step, and not, it's just so easy to get bogged down as well. If you're having a bad day and you kind of get into this spiral of, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. Why me? And all of this. It's, you've always got to just stay on top of that. So by doing these tiny little things that might seem insignificant, actually, they just, yeah, they keep me going. So I would highly recommend it for sure.
And tell me about, I think I read on your profile, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you mentioned this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method.
Oh, by
Did
Mel
I?
Robbins.
Yes. Tell me about that.
I've been following Mel for years. I think she's absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's like this high five rule that she does, and if there's something, like if you're procrastinating about something, or if you're feeling like low that day, or you have no self confidence, or whatever it might be, you just look yourself in the mirror and give yourself a high five, or if you're laying in bed or whatever you're doing, you just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and whatever it is that you need to do, you just do it. You just count down from 5, and you literally just do it. You just get up and you do it, no questions asked. And yeah, I think it's like been scientifically proven to like work wonders with your mindset. So I would, again, yeah, if you're not following Mel, follow Mel Robbins. She's just incredible. She's just a great human. So she's helped a lot. Yeah. She's basically all my saved.
Yeah. I haven't heard of Mel Robbins. Is she
Have you
fitness? Is she
not?
mindset? Is she, maybe I've seen her and I don't realize it.
You probably have. She's on a lot of the standard motivation things that people use on their reels. Yeah, she's more like a mindset. She used to be, I think she used to be a lawyer actually. She used to be a lawyer. She used to be an alcoholic. She was nearly bankrupt, and then she turned her life around. And now she's like one of the most successful people. And she holds a lot of mindset like workshops. Like she's huge. She's really well known. So she's been through it, but she's like, her life is amazing, and yeah, she just practiced what she preaches. So definitely one to follow.
I'm definitely going to follow her.
Do it.
So tell me more about your background. You're running your own business now, but tell me a little bit about how you got there. I'm assuming that you didn't, when you were 18, you probably didn't have the dream to have a meal box company. So tell me what your background, a little bit more in depth about what your background was, and then how that changed through IBD and how you got onto this career path.
Yeah, so I actually studied to be an architect, and then I ended up being in banking when I was 17, 18. Moved to Miami. Work moved me out to Miami. 19, 20, 21, and then I got headhunted to be in pharmaceutical. So I went into pharma for 4 years. Yeah, and then I ultimately I wanted to launch Katie's Life Kitchen. So that's when it really started, because I had to write about 250 recipes. So that took a long time, on top of, my full-time job, and training and everything. So
And you went back and got nutritionally certified, I
yeah,
think, was it?
yeah, exactly. So then I quit being in business development, and I moved into an operational role for a gym wear clothing brand. And then alongside that, started to study, and started to launch the business. So I was kind of doing three things at once, which was a lot, and it took its toll on my Crohn's, because I didn't get much sleep, but it paid off. So yeah, the website took quite a long time to build, although I'm building a new one at the moment. And it kind of, I know they say like everything happens for a reason, and it's really cliche, but at points in my life it was so like all over the place. I was thinking, oh my God, is this all going to come together? Like, this is insane. And it did. It did. It all came together, and it's now like more than what I could have ever asked for. So
And you kind of had you were mentioning at the very beginning, you started it because you couldn't find any food. You couldn't find the meals that you needed.
yeah,
So were these all your original 250 recipes, and how
yeah.
did, like, were some of these recipes you were starting to write for yourself early on in the beginning that then kind of became the
Yeah.
foundation?
Yeah, exactly. So when I moved to Miami, I moved out of home and I was on my own and I was 19 and I there wasn't anything for me to eat really out there. So I just started writing my own recipes and it just kind of developed from there. Like I had quite a lot of time when I was out there and I would make like my lunches for work. I know it sounds really pathetic, but then at the weekend I'd dedicate my Sundays to just like recipe writing basically. And I think even when I look back now, I think that was all building up to the point that I'm at now. Like even being in sales, in banking and sales in pharma, it was all giving me that experience on like how to speak to people and how to approach people and just giving me like different techniques to use, um how to write newsletters, so when I actually decided, I wanted to launch a business in this space, I kind of had a lot of background skills and knowledge to put that into practice. So yeah, I definitely think like even me getting diagnosed with Crohn's kind of ultimately landed me in the position that I'm at now, because if I had never got that diagnosis, then KLK wouldn't even exist. So it's crazy, really.
Did you start with just meals for IBD and then expand into focusing on meals for, because you do pretty much meals for anyone with gut sensitivities now. It's IBD, it's celiac, dairy intolerances.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just through demand. So, the original was IBD and trigger foods, so it was, like, completely bespoke person by person, and then I was getting so many inquiries, "Do you cater for? Do you cater for? Can you do this for me?" So I just yeah, it just and now it's in the fitness world as well, so I do, like, macro meals for people that are competing or people that just wanna lose weight or just get healthy or wanna lose body fat or whatever they wanna do. So, yeah, it's been kind of like, an ongoing development that was never in the business model, the original business model.
It's grown.
Yeah, it's been really cool though. It's been such a cool journey.
Tell me how it works a little bit more, because I was reading about it and I thought it was so cool because I noted on there that you give people, like, there's a form to fill out, like what their trigger foods are, and then that helps you to design the boxes or the meals. So tell me a little bit about how it works and kind of how the meal process works.
Yeah, so basically, I ask just a few questions to start with. So when someone inquires in, I'll find out what their trigger foods are, any allergies, any intolerances, how many meals they want per day, how many meals they want per week. And then I draw out a complete diet plan for them, each recipe on each day, meal one, two, three. Some people have 6 meals a day, however many days a week. And then I send that to them and they can write any notes if they want any meals changed, if there's any ingredients that they don't like, anything like that. If they have any questions, there's a little question box for them. And then they send it back to me and I can change it. 99.9% of the time they don't. And then yeah, it completely made. Everyone that has a 7-day plan gets 2 deliveries per week. Anyone that has a 4-day plan gets one. So yeah, it's basically just completely tailored person by person. So
That's awesome. I had
yeah,
not heard of anything else like that. I mean, that even comes close. There's obviously meal deliveries, but there's nothing that is so catered and individualized. That is incredible.
yeah, and it's just really fulfilling when I get emails or DMs and I just hear how well people are doing. That's what I live for. And they're saying how much better they feel, or they're not in pain, or they're not bloating anymore, and it's just yeah, it's just so fulfilling.
And where do you ship to? Because as I mentioned earlier, I'm disappointed. I'm pretty sure it's not to the US.
No,
But I do
no,
have a lot of UK I have a lot of UK listeners, so
just nationwide, I ship everywhere. So yeah, and it's on next day delivery, DHL. So everywhere, not Ireland, but everywhere else.
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
So tell me about life now. How do you balance running a business and Crohn's and ultra marathon training? How do you balance stress? Because stress for a lot of people is a trigger. and I'm sure your life is not free of stress.
No,
So
stress is my main
what are the
trigger.
what are the tips and tricks you have now for maintaining remission while achieving so much?
List making, definitely. My diary is pretty much just one big giant list that I find great satisfaction ticking off each task that I
I
get
do
done.
too. And if I forget, if I do something and it's not on the list, I'm like, let's put it on the list so I can cross
I
it
know.
off.
I do. I backdate my list. I'm like, I'll add that on and just tick it off straight away.
Starting
I
the day
definitely do.
ahead.
I definitely do that. Yeah, honestly, list making. If I get really overwhelmed, I go out for a run because I've learned that that relieves a lot of stress for me. Or if actually I'm in pain, I will go out for a run because that relieves my pain. Weirdly, so I have learned, or I go out for a walk. I've learned that over time whatever relieves my stress or my pain, I will prioritize. So if I'm doing admin or something like that, or if something's really bothering me, then I will just shift my diary around and put my training in then and there. And then whatever admin I can do later. That's not a problem. So again, it's just about being flexible and listening to your body. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, and even if like meditation works for you, whatever it might be, do it. Don't wait. Don't sit there and eat yourself away and get more and more stressed, and just prioritize what will relieve that stress, because ultimately then it's going to relieve the pain and then you can probably do the task a lot better. So yeah, that's what I've learned to do for sure.
That's great. So
Yeah.
talk to me about let's talk about food some more. What does your diet look like now? Because we know that everyone is so individual with IBD. So tell me about kind of the things that are working for you, what hasn't worked, and what that looks like now.
So I had quite a few trigger foods when I was in a bad way. I had quite a giant list of foods that I would need to avoid because they just set me into a flare up. Or and drinks as well, fruit, everything like that. So I basically eliminated all of my trigger foods out of my diet. I also had to go on liquid diets for 2 weeks at a time when my IBD nurses told me that I had to, because my bowel couldn't digest solid food because I was in such a bad way. So it's really been a process of trial and error, because a lot of people don't actually know their trigger foods, so they're eating foods that are triggering their flare and not really registering that and realizing that that's affecting them. So for example, when someone comes to me and they roughly know what their trigger foods are, but they're not really eliminating them from their diet, or they are and then they just like have a bit of a, crazy weekend and then they're back to square one. No, those are coming out of your diet completely and we're starting from scratch. And then after a couple of weeks, we can start introducing slowly those particular ingredients back into their diet, and usually they're okay. So that's ultimately what I had to do. But because my strictures were so bad, I had to do this over like years. It was a long period of time, up to the point when my bowel is completely healed, and now I don't actually have any trigger foods, apart from celiac disease, so gluten, barley, wheat, rye, things like that. But I'm, touch words, I am good with most things. My diet consists of a hell of a lot of food now that I'm insurance. So I did think when I started that particular journey, my Crohn's is going to hate me because it's going to have to be digesting a lot of food. But I've actually been fine.
That's good.
So,
That's true. You have to try all your recipes and
exactly, more food for me.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm in a very, very happy place.
It's interesting that you say you're able to eat pretty much anything now, because I've found that to be true with myself too, and that's not something that I ever there were times during my journey that I thought I'm never going to be able to eat a vegetable, any vegetable ever again, and there's low points, and then to fast forward, I'm been doing well, the gut's healing, and now it's like I'm eating salads and vegetables and foods I never thought I was going to be able to eat before. So it's great to hear that you're having that same experience of getting to the place where you're now able to tolerate, trigger foods are a thing of the past.
It's amazing. And like you said, at that point, it's so demoralizing because you're eating what you think to be healthy foods. Nothing is sitting right with you. You kind of just feel like, what is the point? Whatever I eat triggers me, or I could eat something one day and it's fine, and then I eat the same thing again the next day and it triggers me. Like, what the hell am I doing? But you ultimately just literally have to start from scratch and give yourself that healing time, because otherwise you're never ever going to progress onto the next step. So yeah, I'm so glad that you are in the same boat as me, because it's just like, it just eliminates food anxiety as well when you go out for something to eat. Like,
Now it's like, bring on all the food.
exactly. And you get to enjoy food with confidence, and
Yeah.
it's such a great feeling. Yeah.
So tell me about your strictures, because you didn't mention it. You never had surgery for the strictures, correct? Did it finally resolve through the medication and lifestyle, just the dieting, figuring out the foods that work?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, they took about 18 months to go down. I had 3. But now I have to get MRI'd every couple of months, but they have been at bay for quite a few years. So yeah, they have gone. They are not coming back, because that's what I said.
Yeah. Determined.
And we are just going to roll with that.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Is there anything you've learned throughout your journey with celiac and IBD that you wish people who, like new people who are newly diagnosed or family members, is there something you've learned that you wish people knew early on in their journeys?
I think the main thing really for me was a lot of so the realization that a lot of your symptoms are due to external factors. So people who you surround yourself with that inflict stress on your life, or your job, or your well-being, and your lifestyle, and how active you are, and all these external things that ultimately you have control over, that are causing stress onto yourself. Like, I was in a very toxic relationship, for example, and I was so ill all the time, and I didn't even take into consideration that it could be because of the toxic relationship. I just thought it was my Crohn's, this is what it is, and I can't do anything about it. But once I was out of that relationship, I was literally like a different person. So I really, really want and wish people to look at their, external environment, who you're surrounding yourself with, who's got, a lot, who's in your life that will contribute a lot to your stress and things like that. Yeah, your diet, lifestyle, physical activity levels. I wish I took everything into consideration years ago, because I don't think I would have got so ill. And yeah, I'm in such a better place now. So I know that those were huge factors for my own well-being.
That's great advice. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
We covered a lot today. Is there anything that we missed that you wanted to share with the audience that I didn't ask you about
I don't think so.
in your
No,
journey? Are you still riding horses?
I am. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, I am. I've still got my horse. Yeah, my parents bought him for me when I was 9, so he's an old boy now.
Oh,
I know, but he's still going strong.
how long do horses live? I know
I
very
don't
little
want to
about
think about
horses.
that.
Oh,
Like, it all depends really. I suppose, like, my grand horse lived till he was 39.
wow.
So I know. So I don't know. I think mainly like 30, 33. I'd say. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But beautiful animals, so I
Yeah, they are.
love them.
So if people want to follow you and keep up with your journey and learn more about Katie's Life Kitchen, where can they find you online?
So it's just at Katie's Life Kitchen for social media, and the website katieslifekitchen.co.uk. So yeah, everything is Katie's Life Kitchen.
Perfect. Well, I'll put all the links in the show notes so people can find them easily. But thank you so much for coming on today and joining me.
Thanks, Stephanie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening. If you love these interviews and want to support the podcast, visit my website at crohnsfitnessfood.com and click on the Buy Me a Coffee link to show some love, or visit my featured products page to shop the products and companies that I love and support. If you have an IBD story that you want to share, send me an email at crohnsfitnessfood@gmail.com or fill out the form on my website, crohnsfitnessfood.com. And always remember, be strong, be grateful, and keep going.